Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mix, episode 62 of our FC Isle of Man series. We're up into League 1, our second season at the League 1 level. If you haven't gone and checked out yesterday's episode where we went through the squad, introduced you to all the new faces, all that sort of stuff, go and do it because it'll give you some additional context to this episode as well, where the season has started pretty well. We're pretty much going to jump straight into it, go through our results and talk through a couple other things as well, so we'll do that now. As you guys can see, currently sitting third in the division. It's been an excellent start. We have played 6 games. Most of the other teams in the division have played 7 or 8 at this point. We've won 5 and drawn 1 in that time, and we'll draw with Mansfield. If we quickly go through the results, of course, in that first episode, a 2-1 win against Chesterfield, a 0-0 draw against Mansfield. We rotated quite heavily for this 2-1 defeat against Wigan in the Carabao Cup. I wasn't too worried about the cup competitions. Same for the defeat against Blackpool in the leasing.com trophy. I'm not worried about them. I'm going to try and get rid of them as early as possible. We don't need the additional games for no real reason. And we're going to focus a little bit more on the league and a little bit more on specifically the FA Cup and doing a little bit of a run in that competition to get us some additional gate receipts and all that sort of stuff. In the league, we beat Blackpool 3-0, an excellent performance. Daniel Knowles has started the season very well. And you might remember yesterday I said Grant Davies was like a luxury player, like a 5th choice striker that I wasn't necessarily going to use all that much, but was going to try and develop over time. And so far, he's contributed 4 goals in 4 appearances. So he has been absolutely excellent. Not a player I expected to get. Unfortunately, Dwayne Record is still injured. We'll go through those injured players in a moment. But he's playing pretty well at the moment and definitely getting involved in the goals. He scored again in a 3-0 win against Plymouth, who of course beat us 5-2 last season and we really struggled to get past. So we have progressed a little bit this year. And then a 2-0 win against Cheltenham where he scored again. So he's on a hot little streak at the moment. We did, after the defeat against Blackpool in the Leicester.com trophy, get a 2-0 win against Exeter. Grant Davies and Rafinha getting the goals for that one as well. So good to see we're bouncing back. Good to see when we get our strongest possible lineup out there, we're doing relatively well. But in today's episode, we've got 2 massive fixtures, 2 proper giants of the division. Sunderland, who are currently in first spot, who in this game universe haven't gotten out of League 1 yet, but have a fantastic team. They've got, like, most of their starting 11 is valued over £1 million. So they're definitely a step and above us at the moment. But it'll be an excellent test for us, and getting rid of that stadium light fixture early in the season probably helps us plan for the rest of the year as well. And then we're also going to play Charlton, who are one of the sides that dropped down from the Championship last season. They also have a very strong squad. They're 1 position behind us at the moment. But as we can see, like, it's still early doors. It's still relatively tight. Most teams in those playoff positions are kind of exchanging different positions each week. Sunderland, though, 8 straight wins, plus 16 goal difference, scoring at least 2 goals more than the opposition each game, 24 points. They are so far perfect. And we'll have an opportunity today trying to either ruin that record, or if you're looking at it from their perspective, they'll be looking to try and get it to 9 games undefeated. As far as the rest of the squad goes, we've had a couple of injuries that we've picked up. Lee Wilson, unfortunately, out for 4 to 6 months with a broken lower leg, which absolutely sucks. He did quite well in the first few games of the season, filling in for Sean Wademan while he was out injured. He's back now, and I'm hopeful that Franz Wolf, who's been our best player so far, and Wademan can put together like a really good central midfield partnership. They are 2 of our better players as far as current ability is concerned in the squad. Dwayne Record, our leading scorer, our big number 9 up top, probably our best player, is currently still injured. He's going to be out for another at least 3 weeks to 2 months, and we're not going to rush him back. So hopefully by the time we come back to the next episode, potentially he'll be back involved again. Maybe not necessarily starting, but certainly getting involved in other games. And then John Mashon, who's done quite well on the left-hand side. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks with a hernia that he got in training. Bit disappointing. He's actually done quite well and was kind of giving me a little bit of a selection headache in terms of who was starting over Rafinha, who's still getting used to the role on the left wing. He would prefer to be a number 10 or an attacking left winger. I don't know why there's that meme that you see go around every now and then on Reddit, and it's just like play 10 yards further back and the guy can't do it for whatever reason. So he's still working there and I still think is the better player. But Mashon has definitely been a pleasant surprise in his contributions so far this season as well. More than enough talking from me. We've got 2 massive games. Let's get stuck into them. Let's have a look at the 2 lineups for the game against Sunderland now. Alright, so this is how we're lining up. Donkin in goal, Taylor and Smith as the central defensive partnership, Preston Kelly and Wright as the 2 fullbacks, Rafinha on the left wing, Dean on the right, and Wolf and Wademan working. I think this is their first actual start for the season together in midfield. Knowles will play at the 10. He started the season quite well as well, 3 goals in his 7 appearances, and Davies leading the line up top. So far, our leading scorer, despite not necessarily being a player that we thought was going to be that involved that much in first team football. As things currently stand, we're probably going to do this until about maybe like the 12th, 15th game of the season maybe. Everyone is just playing in their preferred role within the formation. The shape is the 4-4-2. Everybody is just playing in their preferred formation. Daniel Knowles isn't because he doesn't have a preferred role, and Rafinha isn't, because if we was, he'd be playing a little bit further forward here on the left wing. So worst case scenario, we're in our positive structure now. If things aren't going our way, we might push him to that left wing role and just go to like an attacking, whatever shape you want to call it, 4-3-1-2 or something to that effect. They've got a very strong lineup. Lucas Zidane in goal, who's an excellent player, son of Zinedine Zidane, and then they've got Williams, their captain, at centre-back. Roshan Williams is an excellent young player as well, if you can pick him up for your saves. Comes through the Man United Academy. Looks like he was released to Shrewsbury and then to Sunderland, where he's been for the last few years. He'll wear the armband today, play alongside Kieran Gordon, who looks fairly solid, still under 25. Looks like he came through the Sheffield United Academy, which is a very strong academy. We picked up so many players from there. And I keep seeing like other players from that Facepack as well on that side. They've got Ben Williams at left back, looks relatively solid as well, just getting towards £1 million value. Dreyer, the right winger, looks like he's a lefty playing on the right. They've picked him up via... He starts the game at Brighton, but it looks like he's dropped down to Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Bromby, Reading, a few different clubs in there. But he looks relatively solid as well. A lot of good technical attributes here, around 13, 14. Up top, Ryan Edmondson, one of the best players in the division. He was in that Media Dream 11 at the start of the season. Comes through the Leeds Academy, made a couple of first-team appearances for them back in the Championship days, and then at MK Dons, and now at Sunderland, where he scored 43 goals in 106 appearances. So he's a very good player as well, and £2.1 million value, definitely reflective of that. Because of their strength, because we're playing away from home, we've just gone positive. If things aren't going well, we can switch to attacking, we can switch to cautious. It's good to have that versatility. Assertively, I'm just going to say, pick up where you left off last time out, and let's maybe assertively tell the defence we have faith in them. And I don't really want to overcomplicate stuff at the moment. We're still undefeated, and even if we lose today, I'm not going to get too upset by it. They're a very, very good side, but we've given the ball away, and that's definitely not going to help us on the way. So early here, Edmondson on the right-hand side. Smith's just gone straight through him, and we're giving away a penalty here inside the first 2 minutes, which isn't the ideal start to the game. Dre's going to take, and it's a good penalty to be fair. Low and hard to the left-hand side. Keeper didn't guess the right way, and they take an early goal. His 5th of the season. Early in the season, if he was playing for us, he'd be our leading scorer. And a good penalty. Keeper went late. It was pretty much already in the back of the net by the time he made the dive. Wide free kick here. Wait a minute to take towards Rafinha, who gets a good header on it. There's a Zidane equal to it. Is that the end of the highlight? We're going to see some more here. They've definitely pushed to the left-hand side. Zidane goes long. Edmondson tries to flick it across. Finds Flanagan, who I didn't talk about in the preview, but is also a very good player. Dreyer, who might be the danger man that we have to keep an eye on here on that right wing, cutting back in on the left-hand side. Good header away from the defence, but Knowles doesn't help anyone out going to the ball. Alexiev, backstick run to Dreyer. It's pinballing around. We managed to scramble it away just, and thankfully Dreyer was offside in the build-up. Right with the throw in here, finds Knowles. Back to Dean. Can you send him into the channel? Instead he goes back to right. Wolf, who's been excellent for us early part of the season. He just doesn't seem to lose possession, but that ball forward has given it away. I've jinxed him. Dreyer with the ball, strikes from distance. Wasn't a bad effort actually. Keeper was scrambling and just past the near post. Statistically speaking, 30 minutes in, we're creating a few chances. We just haven't seen them in highlights. I've got one here on 30 minutes, and depending on how it goes, I'm going to use a shout. Knowles with the ball forward, flicks onto Davies. Wait a minute. Can we look out to the left-hand side? Finds Rafinha now. Burst past one challenge. Can he find the cutback? It's there. He cuts it back towards Davies, who kicks it out to Preston Kelly for whatever reason. Rafinha now, top of the box. Loses out in possession. Dreyer with the long ball forward. Taylor with a free header. Preston Kelly into Waderman. Now Davies. Lovely little triangle play. And then Rafinha beats the man in the wide area. Cuts it back towards Knowles. And the header was straight at Zidane in goal. But excellent little play. Let's say get creative just for the last 10 minutes. See if we can't turn some of this good play and these few highlights into an equalising goal. 1 minute to be added on, and we're through that now. So they've had 7 shots, only one of those on target, which I assume is the penalty. 48% possession. We've had 5 shots, 5 on target, and 52% of the ball, and some good little passages of play in there. So I'm going to leave us on positive for the moment. We'll give it another 15 minutes and see where we're at. I'm going to calmly say it's time for everyone to dig in and show what you've got left tonight. We deserve to win this match. Let's also assertively tell the defence you weren't that bad, but you can improve, and let's tell the attacking too. You weren't that bad, but you can improve as well. And at least Knowles has responded positively. So if we get any sort of boost in performance from any of them, I'll be very happy. Deep throw in here for Sunderland. Kilgore loses out to Waderman, who does quite well to win it back. Finds Knowles at the top of the box. Back to Waderman again. Out to Ricky Dean, who loses out, but Wolf is always there just to tidy up. The Wolf devours everything. And he lovely reverse pass towards Knowles. Can he find the cutback? Instead he goes to strike himself. Davies would have been there for the tap in at far post. This wide angle shooting is just, it's still the biggest frustration for me in this year's variation of the game. Still an amazing game. When I say stuff like that, it's from like an idea and a feeling that I want the game to improve and be better, not necessarily that it's a poor game. It's an excellent game. Dre with the ball here, very deep for Sunderland. Backstick runners, Alexiev, and he's offside. Thankfully, when that came in, he was working his way back into an onside position. Might have gotten away with one a little bit there. We're very much jumping in high up the pitch. Zidane with the ball forward. Dean should get there first. And he's got Knowles in the channel if he can find him. Instead, he loses the ball out to Williams, who came through the back of him, it looked like, but it's hard to tell when it's in too deep. Dreyer, overlapping runner to Kilgore. He's getting a little bit further forward, it feels like, in the second half. Nice little reverse pass there. Kilgore, clothesline. The cross is closed down. Definitely not clothesline. I've got WrestleMania on the brain. Kilgore into Dreyer. They're keeping possession quite deep. Alexiev backstick, and that time he is onside. We had a bit of a warning shot there. They worked that right-hand side angle to get the ball to him for that disallowed goal. And now they have actually found the back of the net. To be fair to them, they're keeping the ball tremendously well. Just working their little angles here, working 2v1 situations. We're pretty much doing doggies on that side. And then it's a deep cross from Kilgore. Alexiev meets it, passes that one into the back of the net. And it's pretty much right on the hour mark. So we might look at our subs here as well. Statistically, it's relatively even. Do I want to try and go attacking? We are 2-0 down. We haven't got anything to lose at this point. Ricky Dean struggled a little bit. Phil Nelson's not the best in that role, though. Maybe we'll just swap the two fullbacks, bring on Sam Morris and bring on Phil Nelson at right fullback. We'll switch him to be a fullback on defend. I think both fullbacks have struggled a little bit in wide areas. It's where the goals have come from. And then what do we want to do relating to Ricky Dean? Maybe we'll push Rafinha on a little bit, have him as that winger on support, just to see what happens more than anything else. And Kingsley Smith has struggled a little bit as well, so we might bring on McCluskey and play him as a central defender on cover. Because we're going attacking, we are playing a little bit further forward, so covering central defender isn't the worst idea in the world. We're also going to use our shout. We're going to get creative. Corner to be taken. Waiterman. It's headed away by Flanagan, and they've got a 2v2 here. Someone's got to commit to the ball. Sends Dre out left. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. And thankfully, he gets stuck on his right foot and can only drive that one into the side netting. But definitely still a danger as we commit man forward. Morris with a throw in here. Davies finds Rafinha. Inside to the Wolf. Now Waiterman. Back to Morris. Just find feet. Don't do anything silly. Back to Wolf. Good reverse pass for Waiterman. It squares it up to Davies, who gets the strike away. It's a 5th goal of the season and a 5th goal in 5 starts for Grant Davies. He's having an excellent year, so it's a little bit of a glimmer of hope for us. Sunderland haven't conceded a tremendous amount of goals, but it's going to set up a pretty hectic last 25 minutes here. Wolf finds Waiterman. My concern at the moment is that once our fullbacks go forward, we're 2v1 in that final third. If a midfielder carries the ball and gets beyond Wolf, they're definitely going to get a man advantage on the counter-attack. But we do kind of have to go after it a little bit. I don't want to give up entirely. Let's use that get creative shout again with 15 minutes remaining. They've got a throw in here, very deep. Kilgore and Dreyer. This side has caused us some issues in the second half. O'Brien, reverse pass to Leonard in midfield. McPake to Edmondson, who's been quiet. Alexiev beats the man and gets in, nearly gets his second goal of the game. We're into the last 10 minutes or so. As soon as I can, I'm going to use a demand more shout, which has come through now. A few players look focused, a couple look anxious and apprehensive. There's 4 minutes of additional time. Dre with the free kick here. It's a good angle for a left footer as well. It's not a bad effort. He's managed to clip it around. Kilgore thankfully offside when the ball was struck, but still, it looks like one of the better players in the division is this Dre guy. He's just tearing us apart each time, and the referee's called full time while I was talking there. 15 shots, 4 on target, 48% possession, 12, 9 and 52. A 2-1 defeat against an unbeaten side away from home this early in the season isn't anything to be too upset about. So I'm just going to assertively say unlucky boys. Would have been nice to win, but it does mean that the Charlton game becomes super important for us. We will need to try and get 3 points to get back above Charlton. We do have games in hand on them, but in reality, we definitely want to add to their loss column here. So we are no longer one of the undefeated sides in the division. Forest Green, who've had 3 wins and 5 draws from their opening 8 games, and Sunderland, who've won 9 straight, are the only 2 teams that haven't tasted defeat thus far. Youthful FC Isle of Man come unstuck. That's once to be expected. Alpha Kilgore, 7.5 match rating. That 1 assist for the second goal gets him the Man of the Match award. Pablo Bear, who I don't really know anything about. I think he must have been one of Unai Emery's staff. Is currently managing Sunderland. I don't really care about anything that he's had to say. Now, we do only have 4 days until the game against Charlton. It is still early in the season. We are still working our way into proper match sharpness. Because I want to try and get the same lineup out there. I'm going to give everyone 1 rest day that started the game. Everybody else can go to training as usual. But Magic Vetti, we'll jump forward and look at the 2 lineups against Charlton now. Right, just like that, we're a few days further ahead. Now, I kind of was umming and ahhing whether I wanted to move to attacking, given we're at home. But I think Charlton are also quite a good side. Having a look at their lineup here, we'll go through some of those players in a minute. So we're going to stick with positive, play a little bit deeper than we normally would, and hopefully finish this episode up with a good result. Getting 2 defeats against 2 sides towards the top of the division wouldn't be the best way to start the season, but I can't complain. Only 1 defeat in our opening 7. Ben Purrington looks to be a very good player, a left back that starts the game at Charlton. They've kept him all the way through, and he looks fairly solid. £5.5 million as a rating, as a value is insane. On the other side, CJ Egan-Riley looks to be quite a good fullback as well. The 16 natural fitness and pace are what jumped out at me. Came through the Man City Academy, I think starts the game there as well. Further forward, I think their wings are what's going to hurt us the most here. Ryotaro Machino looks to be a very good player. £4.8 million value, 29-year-old Japanese international. They picked him up from Gamba Osaka, it looks like. He looks very, very good. 15 dribbling, 15 first touch are the ones that are kind of... I'm not freaking out, but they definitely look talented. Molina on the other side, they picked up from Liverpool. Spanish youth international, 3.8 million value. So I think this wide area is where they're going to definitely try and take the game to us. And we definitely have strength in those areas. But maybe if we can focus on Wademan and Wolf having a good game today, that might be a better route to goal for us. Otherwise, unchanged lineup for us. We want to try and continue our good start to the season. And if we pick up 3 points here, it looks like an excellent opening 10 games. I'm going to calmly say, media have given you a lot of credit lately. Let's use that. A fair few seem motivated. And if we can get a good result today, I think it's going to push us back up into automatic promotion places by the time we play our games in hand. It'll put us on pretty much par with Oxford's results and with a little bit better goal difference as well. So even though it is early doors, still a massive fixture for the season ahead. And as we've gone through the opening 20 minutes or so here, they are well and truly on top statistically. 5 shots, 4 on target, 59% possession. We've just had a shot, but it wasn't on target. I guess if you want to focus on a positive, we haven't seen any highlights for either side so far. I'm going to use Get Creative. And just as I've done that, we've given away a highlight, and Taylor's just coughed up possession in midfield. Clark to Johnson, out to Machino, who we did look up in the build-up. He's turned his man in the wide area and was allowed way too much time to get that strike on goal. Donkin, thankfully, equal to it. Everyone's responded positively to the shout. Rafinha's picked up the ball here from Davies. Good ball into Knowles. Reverse pass towards Rafinha is there. He finds him and he gets the strike away, but a good block tackle from the defender. We had Wademan there as well. Maybe we could have worked that 2v1 a little bit more intelligently. Dean with the ball in towards Taylor, front post, and that near post header just over the crossbar. At least we're getting in it. We've had 2 strikes on goal. Neither of them actually hit the target, but at least we're actually seeing highlights, which is a little bit better. Ball pinballs around here. Smith with a good header. The Wolf picks up the ball in midfield, works it to Dean. Back to the Wolf again. Ball in behind for Davies to chase. Can he find the finish? He's in excellent goal scoring form at the moment. And if he had found that one and given us that goal advantage into half time, who knows what would have happened. Wademan with the corner now. Good ball in. O'Connor heads it away under no challenge, and Molina brings the ball forward. We spoke about these wingers in the build-up. He's pretty much walked past our defensive line and nearly found the finish. If he had got that on target, it would have been a cracking goal. 2 minutes to be added on now, and we're through that now. So 5 shots, 1 on target, 46% possession, and they've had 11, 7, and 54%. Statistically speaking, I think this is the toughest we've had it in any game so far. I'm going to assertively say, maybe I'll passionately say, media have given you a lot of credit lately. It's worked a little bit. Let's also assertively tell the defence you weren't that bad, but you can improve. If we get a good defensive performance, I think it kind of gives us a good platform. We might steal a chance here and there, but if we can keep a clean sheet, it definitely puts us on our way. And I'm sure as the game goes on, they're going to push a little bit more for a goal given their stat line at the moment. I don't think they'd be super happy with a 0-0 draw, but if it happens, it happens. What am I most concerned with, match ratings or yellow cards? I think yellow cards at the moment. So Clive Williams is going to come on for Ricky Dean, who didn't have a good game in the last game either. And we're going to bring on McCluskey for Tyrone Taylor. Central defender on cover. And Smith will be the defender on next to him. And then who else is struggling? Wademan hasn't had a great game, but we don't have a midfielder on the bench. Preston Kelly struggled again for the 2nd game in a row. Let's just go full-back defend or wing-back defend is fine for him. And I'm going to stay on positive. I'm not going to go to attacking, but what I might do is push Rafinha and Williams a little bit further forward, which is actually their preferred roles, just to keep that balance going. It is early in the season. If someone had turned to me and said, you're going to draw 2 and lose 1 in your opening 10, I'd have taken it. So I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. I tend to kind of overthink stuff when we're recording and worry too much about it. I should just let the game play out sometimes. We've used our Get Creative shout as well. Got a deep throw in here. Wademan with the ball. Squares it up towards the Wolf. He loses out to Jasper, which rarely happens. Jasper, of course, used to play for us. McCluskey holds up McMillan. Jasper in midfield now. Plays it across to Townsend, who gets the strike away. It's poor goalkeeping. Donkin's had a good game, but that one he's just let wriggle past him. And Jasper, the ex-FC Isle of Man player, has done the damage really, breaking from midfield. Good ball across here, and then he just kind of hooks it in behind. We do get to Townsend, and yeah, Donkin definitely should have done better. It was pretty much straight at him. Just maybe one of those weird ones where the match engine doesn't have an animation to reflect that little save angle. So you can see Jasper's just gone off as well, so they've taken him off the field. Rafinha, Wolf, now over to Morris. Can we work an equaliser here? Morris, get the ball in the box, please. Plays to Davies. Had a fair bit of pepper on it. In towards Knowles, who's clipped the base of the post, and then O'Connor scrambles the ball away. Do you think we can use our demand more? She had a couple of minutes early. Everyone seems focused, which is good. We just need to try and get a little bit further forward. Time's ticking down here. 4 minutes additional to be added on. Is there going to be any late drama or late highlights for either side? Not the best episode if we have 2 defeats in it, and it looks like that's how it's going to finish. 10 shots, 1 on target, 49% possession. So we did come into it a little bit more in the second half, but just couldn't get enough of our shots actually challenging the keeper. They had 18 shots, 10 on target, and 51% of the ball. I dare say they probably deserve to win. I'm going to calmly say far from pleased with what I just saw. They're a team that will be in and around the playoff picture, not necessarily as good as Sunderland. And also, we're at home. We should do a little bit better in those circumstances. At least everyone's responded positively to it, which is the best that I can ask for after a defeat. You can see here, youthful FC Isle of Man come unstuck. I think that's going to come up quite a few different times throughout the course of the season. Lee Townsend, the goal scorer, gets the Man of the Match award. He himself looks a fairly solid player. Nothing super spectacular, but only 18. I'm sure he'll continue to improve. Now, where does that leave us in the division? We dropped down into 4th spot, so we are still in the playoff positions. We do still have 2 games in hand that could potentially put us back above Charlton. It would have been nice to do that of our own accord, but at the moment, Sunderland and Oxford, or Sunderland actually lost their last game out. Interestingly, 2-1 to Southend, who we actually play in our next match. Very, very interesting stuff there. So super tight still early in the season. We've got 2 games on hand on the majority of teams around the league as well because of our cup competitions, a couple of reschedulings due to youth internationals, all that sort of stuff. I think we are in a good position heading into October, which is where you want to be. I think we're probably going to continue going with just playing everyone in their preferred roles for at least until the next episode, and then we might do a little bit of a tactical review as to how we've been going in the next episode, and also make any changes or adjustments that we want to do for the rest of the season as well. I think what we'll do is come back and do the games against Port Vale and QPR. Port Vale, one of the sides that dropped down from the high division last season, relegated bottom of the championship. And then QPR, obviously a side who have struggled quite a few times. They just wriggled out of from the relegation spots towards the end of last year. They are back down towards that end of the table this year as well. So hopefully we got no wins in this one. Maybe in the next one, if we come back in 5 or 6 games time, we will actually be able to put together an episode where we get back-to-back victories, which would be a fantastic way to continue the save, continue the week, and continue our progression in League One. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the portion that I appreciate the most. If you want to go the extra mile, if you want to go that little extra distance and support the community and the content and all that sort of stuff a little bit further, you can subscribe to the videos to be kept up to date on all future releases as they come out. You can also like this video if you want to please that YouTube algorithm, get it higher in search results, all that sort of great stuff that comes along with that. Our links are just over on that side. If you ever need anything, if you ever want to use this database, we've had a couple of people ask, reach out via Twitter at @InTheMixer_FM, and to see all our different interactions with the Football Manager community, as well as our Sunday night Twitch streams, twitch.tv/InTheMixer_FM. Sunday night if you're in Australia, Sunday morning if you're in the UK, very early Sunday morning if you're in North America. But more than anything, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the Mixer.